Hello and welcome to the King's Forum podcast show. I have a special guest, Liza, all the way from Malaysia. Hi, Liza.
Hello. Hi. How are you, Michael?
Yeah, not too bad, not too bad. It's snowing
Great.
here. I know the sun's shining over
Wow.
there. Lucky you.
Yes, you can see in the background the sun shining in. Yes.
So Liza's been very kind enough to come on the show and talk about being a victim of bullying from a young age and
Yes.
how that's had an impact on her life. Liza, so when did the bullying start? When did you first?
Well, it started very badly when I went to primary. Over here in Malaysia, we call it primary school. So it would be when I was about 7 years old. I've always been this little girl who is so sweet, kind, and loving, very timid. Although I'm outspoken and out there, I'm very timid. I'm scared all the time, being the eldest daughter in the family. So when I went to school, I gave that image whereby I was very low in confidence. I was very timid. So I was bullied the first time when I went to primary school. And I think a lot of people knew my weakness, which was I had a very kind heart. And I would never say no to anybody. And that was taken advantage of through bullying. Yes.
What types of things were said to you?
Okay. First of all, I grew up. I was born with a lazy eye. Okay. As you can see, my left eye sometimes, especially if I'm a bit tired, it droops. Okay. And I did correct it to a level where it's quite level right now if I'm not tired. But when I'm extremely tired and when I was a little child, it drooped very badly. So it looked as though I was a one-eyed Jack, So I got bullied a lot because of my physical appearance in terms of my lazy eye. They used to say things and call me names to my face, say I'm ugly, I have the most ugliest eyes in the world, I look like I've been punched by 10,000 people, come and say all sorts of things to me in that sense. But besides saying, there was a lot of physical things that they did as well.
Really?
I had girls who would take away, like I'm writing something and doing my homework, they would just snap my pencil away from me. They would just take my pencil case away from me. And, my mom used to buy me really expensive stuff. I was a pampered kid. So I had all this expensive strawberry shortcake. And my mom just wonders, when I come home, everything goes missing because these bullies actually take it and they don't give it back to me.
How did this make you feel?
And then,
what was the impact on you, all of this?
The impact is when they did this, I'm already a very timid child in the sense that I was feeling very low in confidence because of my physical appearance. And so when I went to school and I was treated like that, it gave me the sense that, you know what, I'm not worthy. That's why they are treating me the way they are treating me. Yes.
I'm sure that what was this?
So there was a point in time when I was playing games after school. I was playing games with this little girl. We were playing skipping rope. That time we had all those kind of games. We didn't have the tablets and everything, So we were playing skipping rope, and I accidentally stepped on her shoe. And she got so angry at me, she came directly at me and she spit on my face.
What?
So it was that bad, and it was very traumatic as all the other kids gathered around me and started laughing at me, so it made me feel I was not worthy. Every day I used to go back home to my mom. My mom is a teacher, she's an English teacher. So I used to run to my mom and I used to tell her, I don't want to go to school because every time I go to school, this is what happens, So it was a struggle within me every day to wake up and even go to school because I'm so afraid that I'm going to get bullied again and again.
Yeah, that feeling of dread. That feeling of dread in you.
Yes, I already was very timid. And the fact that these girls are doing this to me made me even feel I was not worthy at all. Like, am I that ugly? I started questioning myself. I started doubting myself. You know what I mean? Yeah.
Yeah, you would, because if all of these people are telling you that, then you start to think it and you start to question yourself.
Exactly. Yeah.
it's like anything, and you're very young, so you're very young then. So you know, we just take, it's kind of, we take that information as it's oh, it must be true, rather than when you're an adult, you know, you are sure of yourself, so you have more of that, oh yeah, well, I know me, so you can say that
Yes.
that's your opinion. So it's very,
Yes.
it's very difficult to deal with that. How was that resolved? Did they ever sort the situation out? I know you told your mum. Did you mention it to anyone
Okay.
else in the school?
I spoke to my mom, but my mom told me, you go back to school. If this continues, I feel you should let me know and I'll speak to the headmistress. So it got to a stage where at some point of time, when I became a bit older, I did have a little bit of strength to tell the bully off,
Okay, good.
to stand up for myself because of the encouragement of some close friends which I had at school, and also my mom. And I was always a religious little girl. I grew up in a Christian family. I used to pray to Jesus a lot. So, you know, I used to get strength from all these sources. And there came a point where I did not physically abuse the bully back, but I stood up for myself.
Mm.
And how I stood up for myself, I said, look here, stop right now. Stop bullying me. If this continues, I will go right now to the headmistress office and I will tell on you.
Yeah, no, that's good.
And that gave the little girl some fear. And
Yeah.
after that, after a few more attempts, and I kept standing up for myself, she stopped bullying me.
Wow. Was that
Yes.
the end of it then, or did you receive any more in later?
Oh, the story continues. This is why till today I struggle with self-esteem.
Yeah.
I always have, you know, if you look at me right now, I look like I'm very confident.
Yeah, and
I am
happy.
full of confidence. I'm not bothered about what people think about me, but it's a constant struggle at times because it didn't really stop at primary school. When I went to secondary school,
Wow.
it got worse because in secondary school, especially there, they had clans. They didn't even have just one bully. They had clans of bully. You know, clans, like groups of people who used to come together and bully you at the same time. So I really, really remember an experience in high school. They used to call me MC Hammer. You know the rapper MC Hammer?
Why?
Yeah,
MC
because of my lazy eye. And then they will come to me every morning and say, "Good morning, ugly. How you feeling today, ugly?" You know, things like that. And when I was in secondary school, I was a little bit plump. When I was in primary school, I was thin. So in Asian society, I'm not saying general, but just on a general basis, if you're a fat person, you get bullied more.
Mm.
Yeah, so I got called a lot of names like cow, ugly cow. You're so ugly. Your mother will be so, you know, not proud of you. She'll be so ashamed to have a child like you. It's very, very tormenting because you take it in, you know. There was even a point in time, I used to be active in netball. So I used to stay back after school to take part in netball activities. And when I stayed back in school, I normally, to change into my sports gear, I would go and wash myself up before I go for netball to freshen up. And these girls, there was this group of girls, 6 or 7 of them, they used to come to me with smelly socks. After I have washed my face, they come to me with smelly socks in front of my face and rub the socks on my face. Can you imagine that?
That's just awful.
It is not only disgusting, it is something that affects you very badly. You know, till today, when I think of it, it brings so much of pain to me.
Of course.
How could someone do that, you know, to another human being? You get what I mean?
Definitely. I was just thinking, from primary school to secondary school, do you think you gained weight because you were a bit depressed and a bit down, or do you think that was just something that happened? Was that a part of it?
I would say it's definitely a part of it. Because when I was younger, when I was upset, I used to snack a lot.
Yeah.
Having a sweet tooth
Yeah.
from a very young age until now, but now I control myself. But as a child, you don't have control. So you find comfort in food.
Yes.
You find comfort in sweet things. Sweet things gives you so much of comfort. I mean, even as adults, we all know that. You know, when you're down, if you eat ice cream or you dig on a nice, gooey Nutella donut, you feel so much better after that. You know, so I used to snack a lot. I used to take a lot of sweet stuff, and that because I found comfort in that. You know, although my mom and dad and my family, I had a very wonderful, supportive family. It was not enough because the pain was too much to bear. It happened every day I went to school. Every day, you know? Yeah.
So it's I think in a good way that you had your faith, that you was a Christian and you had strong belief, because and you had a good support network. Because I'm just thinking,
yes, I did.
There's a lot of people that don't have that, and it can go horribly wrong. Yeah. Yes.
Absolutely. Yes, I agree with you.
Yes, you're still dealing with the mental side of it, of course. It's always going to be there. But there's some.
It's always going to be there.
Yeah.
You know, this is why I wanted to come to this podcast and talk about bullying, because I want to send out a message to people who actually bully or belittle or make others feel low about themselves. You know what? These kind of things don't just end very easily. Because words once spoken, it can't be taken back. It stays with you. Yeah. It is even more poisonous than any poison out there. It's like a knife stabbing to your heart. Yeah. You know, so it's not right to bully anyone just because of they are different, they look different from you, or they have a physical defect, you know. But the beauty of it is you can, and you know what? That something so beautiful today is that this I that was condemned by everybody is a feature that every one of the people I know love today. They tell me, I love your eyes. They are your most beautiful feature. So it's very ironic, isn't it, Michael?
It is, and that's life for you, isn't it? That's life.
Yes.
You surround yourself with people that care about you and love you. You got those people around you.
Yes. And when you are a child, it's hard for you to decipher that because you don't have that maturity yet, as you mentioned. So the pain as a child being bullied is even worse. So that's why I want to come on this show and tell people out there, don't do it to children because the damage is permanent. It's permanent. Yeah. And it takes a lot of, you know, what if the person doesn't have a good support system? That's why you see a lot of kids nowadays taking their life. And it's very, very sad. They are the future of our country, of our nation. For them to take their life because people make them feel that way, it's just very, very saddening, you know, because I was a victim of it. But I was lucky enough, I had a good support system with me.
Yeah, definitely. It can go horribly wrong. And as you said, thanks for pointing that out because that's so true. How did you feel when it came to an end? When you finally, whether it was leaving secondary school, college, or wherever you went to after that, when it came to an end and you felt you can just be you and, you know, thrive doing what you need to be doing. When that
you know, for me, it only came to an end when I started going to another country to study in university. That is when I became more confident because after high school, when I went to college, I was bullied as well. It never stopped. It carried on for many years. And I remember very freshly the things that people used to do to me again, taunting me, saying I'm fat, saying I'm ugly. And so I started to believe that. Yeah, cool. You know, when anyone used to give me a compliment, I will say, no, I'm not pretty. I'm fat and ugly, you know? And that's the truth. I believed that for the longest time. So it all stopped when I actually went to Australia, I studied in Australia, Gold Coast. It opened up my eyes to a different culture. People over there were a little bit more acceptable towards you being you and you being unique.
Yeah.
They look at your flaws as something that, they can celebrate. So I was surrounded with people like that, different type of society. So I decided, I built my confidence that way. And I told myself, you know what? I'm going to start loving how my eyes are. I had an option to go for surgery, but the doctor did tell me if I went for surgery, there is an 80% possibility I will go blind in one eye. Why should I succumb myself to that? So I decided when I went to Australia and I was surrounded with people who teach you how to accept your flaws. And then I accepted that is my flaw in my eye. But you know what? It makes me even more beautiful than anyone else because it's unique. It's me, Yeah.
Yeah. People need to accept you for who you are. And if they don't, they're not worth the time.
Exactly. And then people started to getting to know the person I really am. As you said, physical appearance, it can fade away in an accident instantly. But what's inside, a good person, you will always be a good person. So the shallowness of society has to start changing. But I believe why bullies actually bully other people is because they themselves have issues. And they themselves are insecure within themselves that they feel a certain strength when they bully other people.
That's exactly what it is. That's exactly what it is.
After going to Australia, I started to realize that. And that's when I became strong. And I did not care what people thought about me because at the end of the day, I am me and I love me for who I am. As I said, I'm a Christian, so I believe that I'm fearfully and wonderfully made by God, and I should love and accept myself irregardless.
Yeah, that's what it's about. That's what it's about.
Yes.
So talk about impact on your life, the lasting impact bullying has had on your life, and kind of how you approach things and your mindset.
As I said, it doesn't really go away. There are times, I'm a human being, there are times when I do feel very insecure about my physical appearance because I've always struggled with weight problem.
Yeah.
I'm a mommy. I gave birth, I lose weight, then I gain weight again. I've always struggled with a weight problem. So sometimes when I lose weight, it plateaus, So I start to think because of my weight that I'm not worthy again, because it goes back to my thinking like when I was a child and how I was bullied. Yeah. So every time when it comes to things that relate back to where you were before, you start to feel not worthy. So how I deal with it is I have, as I said, my support system is very, very good, number one. Number two, I'm a musician. So my escapism is music. Yes. So every time I feel down, I would just open up my piano and I'll start playing the piano. And when I play the piano or when I play the guitar, I don't think about me being ugly or what. I see myself, wow, I'm so talented. I'm so wonderful. Not many people can play the piano by ear like I do. I'm so special. So I escape by doing things that make me feel good about myself. That's how I deal with it. And I always surround myself with positive people. And I always tell myself positive things. It's all about your mind, what you feed your mind. Yes.
Yeah, I totally agree with that. Because I was bullied as well. I was bullied when I was.
Oh, you were?
Yeah. I was bullied in school, secondary school, actually.
Mm-hmm.
And also why I wanted to do this podcast with you as well, because I can definitely relate and connect with a lot of the feelings you were feeling, and self-loathing and insecurities, low self-esteem.
Yeah.
I can definitely connect.
I'm holding back tears, Mike. I'm holding back tears. It's very, very painful for me to talk about bullying because it's something that's very, very close to my heart. But I'm doing this because I want people to know that don't do this to someone. It's not right because it has a permanent effect. And it's very, very difficult to get out of it. But you really need to be strong mentally to get out of it.
It's about a mindset. It's about a mindset.
All about mindset. Absolutely agree with you.
Any advice for people that are struggling at the moment? Any victims of bullying? Any advice?
Okay, for those of you who have been bullied and you feel you are not worthy, please don't ever feel that way, okay? First of all, if you really can't handle it yourself, if you feel that you do not have the strength to stand up to your bullies, seek help. Go to someone who can actually help you talk to these bullies or stop this bullying, or probably post about it, write about it, talk about it to someone else. Do not bottle whatever you have that the bullies have hurt you inside, because bottling up will only cause a lot of damage and it might eventually lead you to do things that you don't want to do. So my advice is, when you are bullied, speak up. Don't be afraid. Stand up for yourself. If you can't, seek someone who can help you out, because you need to speak up and it needs to stop. It's not right to be bullied. Nobody deserves to be bullied. We all of us are born unique and special in our very own way. And the key thing I would say is love yourself. Love yourself, because if you don't love yourself, how on earth is anyone going to love you? So when you love yourself, you have a strong sense of love for yourself, the bullies will eventually not get to you. I believe that.
Yeah, definitely. Definitely seek support. I agree with all of that. The key thing is, tell someone you trust.
Yes.
Family member, a friend about it. You shouldn't be suffering in silence. This is when you can become very depressed and down.
The biggest thing is, don't be afraid. Don't be afraid of your bullies. Just get help so that you have a better life and you start loving yourself again and knowing that you're not a bad person just because you're bullied. Don't listen to what people tell you about you. You define you. Others don't define you.
Definitely. 100%.
Yeah.
Liza, thank you very much for being on the show. Where can people find you? What social platforms are you on? Social media?
Okay, I'm on all social platforms, but I think I specifically mentioned the ones that I'm active in. So I have a Facebook account, Liza John, and I also have an Instagram account, which is Miss LFC at 77.
Cool. Thank you very much for being open and honest about a very difficult time that you went through. And I'm so glad you've come out of it and you're this happy person, outgoing, full of life, personality.
And I'm so happy I spread joy and love to whoever who are friends with me. They always tell me that I bring so much of joy and happiness to them. And that's what makes life so worth it for me. Knowing I came out of it and I'm this person who is inspiring others. And that is a victory for me by itself.
Oh, definitely.
Yes.
It's a victory. Yeah. You're here and you're the person you are today.
Yes, absolutely.
No, they didn't win. The bullies didn't win.
The bullies didn't win. No. Yeah, they didn't win. I won at the end of the day. Exactly. I am who I am and I love myself today very much. I love myself very much.
Cool. Thank you very much, Liza. Have a great day.
Yes.
And speak to
you too.
Thanks a lot. Bye-bye.
All right. You're welcome. Bye.